Welcome to the entire Crypto News Alerts fam. I appreciate you tuning in each and every day, 7 days a week. In today's show, I'll be breaking down the latest technical analysis, as well as breaking news just in. The former SEC and Federal Reserve Bank of New York, Norman Reed, announced as the new CEO of Binance US. Like what? Serious? We'll also be discussing the latest from Max Keiser, who recently shared, we helped boost El Salvador's bonds 90% this year. We can help Javier Milei escape the IMF, central banking terrorist, and get Argentina's economy rocking. Hope to be landing in Buenos Aires soon. Let's go. He also says that President Bukele plus Bitcoin have reinvented the nation state. Governance is being redefined in the Bitcoin age. A true meritocracy and universal economic freedom is rising in El Salvador. Socialist ideas are on their deathbed. Can the Bukele model of Bukelenomics be exported to another country? We will go to Argentina and discuss this with Javier Milei. Can't freaking wait. Also breaking news, Mark Cuban loses $870,000 worth of Ethereum in his MetaMask hot wallet with a hack. Rough. Also in today's show, Gemini legal team accuses DCG, the digital currency group, of gaslighting Genesis creditors. We'll also be discussing BitGo and Swan unveil plans for a Bitcoin-only trust company. That's right, the trust company will target institutional investors in the United States as asset managers line up for the Bitcoin spot ETF. Send it. We'll also be discussing Bitcoin price all-time high will precede the 2024 halving. According to this latest prediction by Bitquant, quoting him here, no, Bitcoin is not going to top before the halving. Yes, it is going to reach a new all-time high before the halving. No, Bitcoin is not going to 160,000 because the magnitude of every pullback is large. This means it will peak after the halving in 2024. And yes, the target price is around $250,000 per Bitcoin. I'll also be sharing the latest predictions from Max Keiser with the Bitcoin price action. I recently transcribed his most recent interviews. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this plus so much more in today's show. And a quick reminder, if you're new to the channel, I highly recommend you subscribe to receive daily premium crypto news alerts and to help out with the algorithm. If you get value out of today's show, please smash that like button. I greatly appreciate that. And also we have a new crypto news alerts clips channel where I'm uploading clips and shorts from the daily live stream from this channel. I highly encourage you to subscribe there to help support the crypto news alerts fam. And as always, I greatly appreciate it. Welcome everyone just joining us. This is pod episode number 1403. I'm your host JV, and it is Sat Stacking Saturday. So let's get it. It's September 16th. So you already know we're halfway through the September before October. So let's bring it. Let's start with our market watch. As you can see here on the screen, we're back in the green. Bitcoin up 0.5% for the day, trading back above $26,500. We also have Ether trading above $1,600. And checking out coinmarketcap.com, we're sitting just above that $1 trillion milestone with roughly $22 billion in volume in the past 24 hours. Bitcoin dominance is 48.9%, and the Ether dominance is 18.6%. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers of the past 24 hours, Toncoin leading the pack, up 17.5%. Trading at $2.42, followed by Thorchain up 9.5%, trading at $1.91, followed by Flow up 8.5%, trading just above 46 cents. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers for the past week, we have a sea of green, which is a beautiful omen for the altcoin market. We have coins such as Ton, Flow, Rune, and Aave, all pretty up, between anywhere from 8 to 13%. And yeah, so there you have it. How many of you are currently bullish on the King Crypto, and how many of you are anticipating a further dip? Let me know your insights, and at the end of the show I'll be reading everyone's comments out loud as we do each and every day in the Q&A session. Now let's dive into some technical analysis from Glassnode, one of my favorite analytics platform. The past few days have been relatively positive for the price action for the King Crypto, which has been increasing since Tuesday, September 12th. At the time, Bitcoin is sitting just above 25,600. Now in this prediction, the co-founder of the popular crypto analytics resource Glassnode outlined that the US CPI jumped by 0.6%, which led to some fluctuations of the Bitcoin price. And indeed, the core CPI, which excludes more volatile sectors such as food and energy by design, has noted a yearly increase of 4.3%. But interestingly, the CPI itself clocked in at 3.7%, while the estimations were for it to be 3.6%. So initially, the news didn't really have any impact on the price, which beyond the expected initial turbulence settled at where it was trading just before that. So here's some price predictions coming from the Glassnode co-founder. He pointed out that crypto reclaimed the support above 26,000 and is now eyeing a potential break beyond 27,000. This would help it escape a multi-week range. He went on to share, risk signals nosedive into the 60s signifies this attitude shift. Profit booking pressure may loom around 27,400 and 28,200, but this climb seems poised as a step before tackling the psychological barrier at $30,000. So there you have it. Let me know if you agree or disagree with the analysts, and are you currently more bullish or bearish on the King Crypto for the short term? Please do let me know. And breaking news just came in before I went live, and I'm like, it's hard for me to even accept this, but this is what it says. Former SEC and Federal Reserve Bank of New York, Norman Reed, is announced as the new CEO of Binance US. You can't make this stuff up, folks. What is the SEC doing? Now, Max Keiser recently tweeted, I'm sure you know, there was a Tucker Carlson interview with the pro-Bitcoin presidential candidate of Argentina, who's currently winning the polls for the presidency. And fantastic, almost 400 million views within the first day. Max went on to share, we helped boost El Salvador's bonds 90% this year. Facts. We can help Javier Milei in Argentina escape the IMF central banking terrorists and get Argentina's economy rocking. Hope to be landing in Buenos Aires soon. So the million-dollar question, do you think Max Keiser will orange pill Javier Milei? I sure hope so. He even recently tweeted here, President Bukele plus Bitcoin have reinvented the nation state. Governance is being redefined in the Bitcoin age. A true meritocracy and universal economic freedom is rising in El Salvador. Socialist ideas are on their deathbed. Can the Bukele model of Bukelenomics be exported to another country? We will go to Argentina and discuss this with Javier Milei. And quoting El Salvador's fearless leader, Bukele, old ideas and institutions crumbled and a new generation is called on to remake the world based on the human right of financial freedom. Preach. Now, Max also shared in regards to this headline, Janet Yellen says Ukraine aid is the best boost for the global economy. Now, this is hilarious and also sincere at the same time. Bitcoin demonetizes war and violence by being finite and unconfiscatable. As this ugly what illustrates, fiat money monetizes war by violence by turning humans into disposable garbage central bank Ponzi scheme. Preach, Max Keiser. Greatly appreciate all the work you're doing. You're truly doing God's work. You and Stacy, so massive shout out. Now let's discuss the latest with the hack from Mark Cuban. Now this is alarming, but at the same time, it's MetaMask. I've been telling you guys to stay away from the MetaMask wallet for quite some time. And also, they didn't hack Bitcoin, they hacked Ethereum. I personally don't trust Ethereum or MetaMask. So interestingly enough, so to read this story, let's break this down. Check this out. Nearly $900,000 worth of Ethereum was reportedly drained from one of the hot wallets belonging to billionaire investor and Dallas Mavs owner, Mark Cuban, the man that once said Bitcoin has no intrinsic value and that bananas are more valuable. Yeah, right. Now, independent blockchain sleuth Woz was the first to spot the hack September 15th at around 8 p.m. So that was last night, after they highlighted suspicious behavior with one of Cuban's wallets that the 65-year-old hadn't interacted with for roughly 5 months, as he shared here on X. LMAO. Did Mark Cuban's wallet just get drained? Wallet inactive for 160 days and all of the assets just moved. And according to the transaction history on Etherscan, several batches of assets such as USD Coin, USDC Tether, and Lido staked Ether were suddenly withdrawn from the wallet within a 10-minute window. Now, adding complexity to the matter, another $2 million worth of USDC was also withdrawn and sent to a different wallet, leading Woz to suspect that Cuban may just be moving some assets around. However, a few hours later, Cuban confirmed to DL News that he had gone on MetaMask for the first time in months and vaguely suggested that the hacker or hackers may have been watching and waiting for the moment to pounce. Cuban added that he had transferred any remaining assets to Coinbase custody, essentially confirming that the $2 million worth of USDC transaction was indeed him. But in terms of the hack, members of the community were quick to point out that opposed to the hackers watching Cuban's activity, he must have done something that led to the security breach. approach. Some suggested that Cuban may have mistakenly signed a malicious transaction, while others asserted his private keys were compromised given that the funds were directly transferred out of his wallets. What do you guys personally think, chat? Please let me know in the comments below. This is not the first time Cuban has been taking a hit on the crypto market. Back in June of 2021, Cuban lost an unspecified amount of capital on what he called a rug pull after the algo stablecoin project called Iron Finance imploded amid a supposed bank run. So there you have it. Mark Cuban has a bad track record in crypto, just pointing out the obvious, fam. How many of you guys think that it was a legitimate hack? Let me know your thoughts. Or how many of you think he maybe have just moved it around and don't want to claim it? Who knows? I mean, there's infinite possibilities. No one really knows, but I'll be keeping you posted with the latest developments. We all know Mark Cuban is a multi-billionaire, so obviously a $900,000 loss is not going to affect him. He's not going to lose any sleep over it. But what if you were to get hacked worth of $900,000 of crypto? So again, red alert. Be very careful with wallets such as MetaMask. Just saying. Now for the latest between the digital currency group and Gemini with the ongoing saga as it continues. Lawyers representing Gemini Trust have pushed back against the plan proposed by DCG for the creditors at Genesis Global in the filing yesterday, September 15th, in the U.S. Bankruptcy Court for the Southern District of New York. New York, where you at? The legal team accused DCG of gaslighting Genesis creditors through contrived, misleading, and inaccurate assertions and a recovery plan. Now, the plan filed in bankruptcy court September 13th, 3 days ago, claimed unsecured creditors could have a 70 to 90% recovery with a meaningful portion of the recovery in digital currencies, while Gemini Earn users would expect an approximately 95 to 110% recovery for their claims. This seemed like a red flag when I initially read the story. I'm like, how are they going to get back 110%? Does that make any sense? So now I'm starting to understand maybe they were gaslighting. What are your thoughts, chat? According to the legal team, DCG was attempting to bait the Gemini lenders into accepting the deal that would allow the company to pay less than it allegedly owed. Lawyers called on the firm to significantly improve the terms of the loans provided to Genesis and not use Genesis's bankruptcy proceedings to cover for justifications of the recovery plan, quoting them here, to distract the Genesis creditors from the inconvenient facts of it facially inadequate and inequitable proposal. DCG touts proposed recovery rates that are total mirage, misleading at best and deceptive at worst, said the filing yesterday, September 15th. Make no mistake, Gemini lenders will not actually receive anything close to the real value in terms to be proposed recovery rates under the current agreement in principle. So a bunch of more shenanigans, to say the least. The legal battle involved entanglements with crypto exchange Gemini and DCG over the Gemini Earn program. How many of you have lost crypto from Gemini Earn? I'm curious. Please let me know in the chat, fam. Financed in part by Genesis, Genesis halted withdrawals, as we know, November of 2022 in the wake of the FTX collapse, citing unprecedented market turmoil at the time, and filed for bankruptcy later on in January of this year. And according to the court filings by Gemini, Genesis owed more than $3.5 billion to its top 50 creditors at the time of their Chapter 11 bankruptcy filing. The crypto exchange filed a claim in May aimed at recovering more than $1.1 billion worth of assets for roughly 232,000 Earn users, and filed a lawsuit against DCG and their CEO, Barry Silbert, in June, alleging fraud. Barry was not the only architect and mastermind of the DCG and Genesis fraud against the creditors. He was directly and personally involved in perpetuating it, said Gemini co-founders Cameron and Tyler Winklevoss back in June. The U.S. SEC filed a civil suit against Gemini and Genesis in January for allegedly selling unregistered securities through the Earn program. The two firms filed a motion to dismiss the case in May, but it is still ongoing at this current time. How do you think this is likely to play out? I just hope that the investors get their money back as they deserve, because we all know with lawsuits, the biggest losers are always the investors. The biggest winners are the lawyers and the courts. That's just facts. So we'll see how this plays out as well. And again, they're attacking and going after all of the yield programs for crypto, with Gemini Earn being a pretty large one. Why? It undermines the banks, right? If you can earn a 5 or 10% yield putting your cryptocurrency on their platform, it basically tells you that why would you even waste your time with fiat currency in your bank when you're losing more than the actual appreciation of interest, because the interest is virtually nothing while you're losing 20% in inflation on an annual basis. It just makes no sense. So it seems, if I had to guess, that's why they're attacking all of these yield programs. But what are your thoughts, chat? Please do let me know. I'm going to read those comments out in a little bit. Now let's discuss the latest with Bitcoin Trust. That's right. BitGo and Swan unveil plans for their Bitcoin-only trust company. This is breaking news as well. The U.S. may soon have a Bitcoin-only trust company, according to plans disclosed by BitGo and Swan yesterday, September 15th. The joint venture is pending regulatory approval, the company said in the statement. Now, I love the word joint venture because, hey, JV. Just saying. The forthcoming entity will handle similar activities of a trust company, including Bitcoin custody, administration, and management on behalf of its beneficiaries. And according to Corey Clipston, CEO of Swan, the solutions intends to offer Bitcoin custody without the risk of having other altcoins under the same roof. As you know, Swan is Bitcoin only, and they're pretty much anti-everything not Bitcoin. Quoting him here, "For years, we have heard from major clients, partners, and other Bitcoin companies that they would prefer a Bitcoin-only software and services stack that is focused strictly on the best custody and leverages Bitcoin's unique features. The companies are in contact with state regulators about the plans, but have yet to file regulatory approval." Clipston told Cointelegraph, "We're evaluating acquisition options first," he disclosed, as he announced here through the Swan Bitcoin team on X. "As part of our long-term vision to advance Bitcoin adoption, we're announcing a major step forward for Swan and the entire Bitcoin ecosystem." BitGo and Swan announced plans for USA's first Bitcoin-only trust company. Let's go USA. BitGo offers digital asset security and custody, supporting over 700 cryptos as per its website. And in contrast, Swan's business is fully dedicated to the king crypto, allowing users to only invest in Bitcoin via a one-time and reoccurring purchases, with custody of records held at Fortress Bank and backed, while BitGo acts as a cold storage for custodian. Now, didn't Fortress Trust just go bankrupt or get acquired by another company? Was it Ripple? You guys let me know in the chat. I know there was something major with Fortress Trust. Now, the new venture will target institutional investors such as asset managers, pension plans, and family offices, along with governments and company treasuries. It will offer cold storage, fraud prevention, anti-money laundering, and know your customer protocols, amongst other Bitcoin-related services. Institutional investors in the crypto space are at a fast-growing market in the U.S., especially as the world's largest asset managers seek regulatory approval, which includes BlackRock, the largest. For a spot Bitcoin ETF, we also have several large Wall Street players offering crypto custody solutions to institutional investors, which include the Bank of New York, Mellon, as well as Deutsche Bank. Quoting them here, "We believe there is a high likelihood that several ETFs are approved in 2024, and thus a new round of entrants to the Bitcoin market seeking mature, reputable, technology proficient partners for a range of needs," explained the Swan CEO. The SEC delayed decisions on the spot Bitcoin ETF product. Analysts predict the regulator may postpone a decision until early 2024 as the deadline fast approaches. Quoting them again, "Our teams have worked closely together for nearly a year on stronger qualified custody models. Early in 2023, we recognized the opportunity to establish a Bitcoin-only custodian, combining the unique capabilities of each company and supporting the innovators that will be at the forefront of pushing Bitcoin adoption," noted the CEO of BitGo. So there you have it. I am curious, by a show of hands, chat, how many of you have ever purchased or acquired Bitcoin using Swan Bitcoin, and how many of you are familiar or ever used BitGo? Let me know in the chat. Now let's break down our next breaking story of the day, and that's the Bitcoin halving, which should be on everybody's mind because it's only 6 months out, estimated to take place sometime in April of 2024. Now, guess what? What if we hit a new all-time high pre-halving? Because that's what this prediction suggests. So let's break this baby down, shall we? Bitcoin has a $250,000 target for after its next block subsidy halving, but a new all-time high will come sooner. Let me know if you guys agree. That is the latest Bitcoin prediction from BitQuant, the popular social media commentator who sees a rosy future for Bitcoin. In his latest post on X on September 15th, synonymous central banker and Bitcoiner revealed a pre-halving target of 69,000. That's what makes this individual interesting. He is a central banker and a Bitcoiner. I didn't even know that was a possible combination, fam, just saying. But he wrote, "No, Bitcoin is not going to the top before the halving. Yes, it is going to reach a new all-time high before the halving." Now, Bitcoin has just over 6 months before the halving, the event that cuts the miner rewards, as we know, per block by 50% every 4 years. Analysts argue that the resulting emission restrictions have a cathartic impact on the Bitcoin price performance, acting as something of a springboard in advance to Bitcoin seeing new all-time highs. But for BitQuant, the analyst analysts, that alone is not bullish enough. Not only will Bitcoin beat its current record set in 2021, which we all know the current all-time high is 69,000 before next April, it'll go on to hit $250,000 per Bitcoin after the next halving cycle begins. That's what he says here. No, Bitcoin is not going to 160,000 because the magnitude of every pullback is large. This means it will peak after the halving in 2024. And yes, the target price is around 250,000, which is outlined right here in the chart. Let me know if you agree or disagree with this crypto analyst, BitQuant. Now, market participants are highly divided when it comes to how the Bitcoin price action will play out into the halving and beyond. Some agree that the higher levels are possible by April, but plenty of conservative voices obviously remain, especially bears, right? Last month, Bitcoin investor and author Jesse Myers dispelled any idea that Bitcoin will be trading at six figures between now and then. And in a subsequent interview, meanwhile, Philby, the co-founder of Trading Sweet Decent Trader, gave a pre-halving Bitcoin price ceiling of 46,000, quoting him here, assuming no black swan event, around 35,000 by the end of the year, and possibly as high as 46,000 sometime pre-halving in Q1 of 2024. So there you freaking have it. And as he shares here, I'm going to read you his particular post on X coming from BitQuant. Again, this is the central banker / Bitcoiner. He says, no, Bitcoin is not going to the top before the halving. Yes, it is going to reach a new all-time high before the halving. No, Bitcoin is not going to 160,000 because the magnitude of every pullback is large. This means it will peak after the halving in 2024. And yes, the target price is around $250,000 per coin. So there you have it, fam. Again, let me know if you agree or disagree with the analyst, and where do you feel the Bitcoin halving, which is around the corner, is likely to take us? As you know, the two most bullish catalysts in the market, Bitcoin halving as well as spot Bitcoin ETF. I hope they both get approved and take place. We already know for certain the halving will take place, but there's a 95% chance of the spot ETF approval in the United States, according to top ETF analyst Eric Balchunas of Bloomberg. Now, for the moment you have all been waiting for, the latest from Max Keiser. I recently transcribed, actually today, his most recent interview and Bitcoin price predictions. Very powerful words to share, so let's break this down. So first and foremost, he says, the world is a very different place, and everyone will say nobody saw it coming, but it has clearly been brewing now for many years, and it's like every single day you can just see the catastrophe inching toward the abyss. You know, we're at the zero line. Preach. He also says it is a global fiat money game, and you see different countries where fiat money regimes are collapsing in real time, right? Facts. Argentina, you know, the countries like this, or like Lebanon, recently had a complete collapse or a central bank collapse. That's right. And inflation is definitely an indication that your fiat money regime is in dire straits, and inflation is breaking out in a big way. It is not going to return to where it was before this latest inflation break. Inflation and the collapse of fiat money is here now. People are feeling it right now, and the quality of life all over the world is being impacted by it, and it's being impacted in the United States. You know, people can't buy a home. People can't afford food. The price of oil and energy is now starting to ramp back up again. So it's playing out right now, and there is nothing that can be done to stop this inflation because the economy is completely out of control. So even the interest on the debt in the United States is now over $1 trillion. So I think it is the biggest line item on the budget, bigger than the military. What we were told for decades was, oh, you know, it's trickle down economics, or what you have, what not. I mean, and he goes on to share, with Bitcoin, it's kind of the end of price discovery because everything will be priced in Bitcoin eventually. Preach. Everything goes to zero against Bitcoin. And so for someone like myself who has been following this for 40 years, finance markets, technology, Bitcoin is the holy grail. It is the end all. I would say my compatriot in all of this is the one and only Michael Saylor. When you hear Michael Saylor talk, he talks about the aesthetics of Bitcoin, the beauty of Bitcoin, and he speaks about it in a way that I think carries the torch from the Max and Stacy from 2011. He started buying it, I guess, when it was 10 or 12,000 a coin or so in 2020 era. So we were there from 2011 to 2020. I think he's kind of carried the torch from 2020 in a lot of ways and introduced Bitcoin to massive pools of capital. I am surprised that more companies haven't followed his lead, giving up the break in inflation we have had. Exactly as Michael Saylor predicted, the melting ice cube, as he called it at that time, is exactly what happened. Well, I guess we can say now we're in a new era where BlackRock and those other major institutions institutions are now looking at Bitcoin. So his work on the institutional level, I guess, is now bearing fruit 3 years later. I see in the Middle East, they are starting to recognize Bitcoin. So that's a huge pool of capital. I think all of that oil money will find its way into Bitcoin and be a huge catalyst for the prices. It is a natural way for the oil industry to diversify their portfolio because Bitcoin is essentially energy, and the energy eventually gets priced in Bitcoin. And there is a marriage between these two in a big way. So I think that's kind of the answer. I have always been fascinated by price discovery in markets and the architecture of how markets work under the hood. And Bitcoin is such a pristine, perfect money, and I think it is something that humans have been searching for since forever, and now we're seeing it change society on a really fundamental level with the introduction of Bitcoin. And a lot of people are freaking out because of it, because it destroys the status quo. And a lot of people who have been waiting for it to come along have had the faith that humanity can be saved. They see Bitcoin in those terms. So you have this split going on, which is very exciting. So it just continues on and on. And you cannot, how could you not be interested in it? I think the people who were into it earlier and just walked away just never got it from the beginning. Once it's characterized as an asset class, we have nothing to do except position ourselves in this asset class. Either we are going to be a small position or a big position, but we cannot ignore it. We cannot not have a position. Now check this out. So even 1% of that multi-hundred trillion dollar funds available moves the needle on Bitcoin, and it moves it up considerably. He's referencing the $700 trillion plus total addressable market. And he continues, so if we get into the 5 to 10% range, then you start to really see it raise ahead to the 7-figure type predictions that people have been making, including myself, because Bitcoin is an asset class. Preach. And on the flip side, we have what we saw in the gold market, which is the ability to control the price discovery and manipulate the prices. It's real through the derivatives markets. So the price of gold has been lagging inflation for 20 years because the governments around the world don't like gold making their fiat money look bad. That's right. So they make it easy for the huge funds to manipulate the price of gold and to scalp it to continuously skim profits off of gold, which is what they do almost every single day. You can watch it and see it. It's pretty clear. And they are very good at keeping the price of gold and silver down. There's something like for every ounce of silver, there's probably 50 ounces worth of derivatives floating in various exchanges around the world that are used to keep the price of silver down because governments don't want gold to race ahead and draw capital out of their fiat money scam and into gold. He's preaching. Now with Bitcoin, we have the ability to pull our private keys, which is not really available with gold. Technically, people can take delivery of gold on these exchanges, but there's never been an organized attempt to do so. We tried to do it a few years ago with Crash JP Morgan, buy gold and silver, because after the 2008 financial crisis, when JP Morgan ended up buying Bear Stearns effectively for nothing, they inherited this huge multi-million short silver position that Bear Stearns was managing at the behest of presumably the government. The government likes to stay involved. And so I did some calculations and it became clear that if this short position was not covered, the price of silver could go to $60 to $70 an ounce and it would bankrupt JP Morgan Chase. Take that, Jamie Dimon. So we started this Crash JP Morgan buy silver campaign and we got the price of silver from $15 up to $50. So we got it up to the old Hunt Brothers $50 level, and then the Fed, of course, came in. They changed the laws overnight to make it possible for these banks to have and carry a much greater short position in silver. So they printed up a lot of paper, silver derivatives, and they stopped the run on their bank, and the price of silver went back down to $15 or so. So we've seen that it is possible to force capitulation in that silver market. But at the end of the day, because the ability to pull private keys is not like it is with Bitcoin, I don't think it'll ever succeed. Whereas with Bitcoin, you can pull your private keys. Now, I mean, he is speaking facts right here. Warren Buffett, in his own words, has said, derivatives are financial weapons of mass destruction. The central bankers are using it to manipulate the markets. That's what they're doing with silver. That's what they're doing with gold and precious metals. And Max makes a great point. They don't want the gold and silver prices to rise up. It undermines the US dollar. They're trying to keep a strong dollar, right? So that's why gold has been pretty stable at like $2,000 and unable to really climb much above it. I think it's been pretty stagnant virtually for the past decade. So with the dollar inflating from them continuing to print trillions of dollars, the fact that gold isn't just continuously going up, it proves that the market is manipulated. You also got to consider as well, there is no scarce asset like Bitcoin. Bitcoin has a finite limited supply of 21 million coins. Yeah, gold may be rare or scarce, but they dump a new supply every year into the market. They can control it. They can invest more into discovering more gold. As Jack Mallers pointed out, Elon could maybe discover more gold on Mars. Who knows? Bitcoin, you can't say the same thing. Bitcoin is perfect money. It's incorruptible. It's unconfiscatable. And the list goes on and on. So if you had the choice to put your wealth somewhere, what asset class would you choose to put it in? Let me know, fam. And now welcome everyone to joining us. Shout out to everyone in the live chat. I appreciate all the support. This is a Stacking Saturday with the Crypto News Alerts crew. What it do? Michael Volkman, what up? ZMG, what up? Black Swan, what up? Phil, what's poppin'? Tim's Crypto, appreciate you tuning in live. Passive income with AI, hey, I made it. How many of you, this is your first live show? Like Tim, let me know. Also, if you gain value out of today's episode, make sure to smash the like button because it helps out tremendously with the YouTube algorithm, and I need all the help I can get. My goal is to get this channel to 100,000 subscribers. We're more than halfway there, but we still got a long ways to go. The race is on. What's going to occur first? $100,000 Bitcoin or Crypto News Alerts gets 100,000 subs on the main channel? Or will there be a Black Swan and the Crypto News Alerts Clips channel exceeds this subscriber base, or the Rumble channel? Let's find out, but I appreciate all the support, fam. Of course, massive shout out to everyone in the house with us today. Thomas, what up? Hey, my first time from Poland. Appreciate you tuning in from Poland. What's good in Poland? Tell me something good about Poland, because I don't know nothing about it except Polish power, legendary Polish power. We're talking about in the UFC, Juan Rachowicz, the former champion. That's what I know from Poland. Also, what's her name? The strawweight queen. The name slipped my mind, but she was also Polish as well. So they got great fighters. I know you guys got power over there. ZMG, what up? I have debt at, whoa, is that 200,000 or 20,000? I don't know. A lot of zeros there. Wow, 20,000 in debt. Yikes. Hopefully Bitcoin can get you out of debt, fam. Hodl strong is the name of the game. Bring it. Legends Valley Music Festival. Appreciate you tuning in. Boz Dragon, what's up? Jack, what's up? McLovin, welcome. Digital Dankness. Everyone show some love for Dankness, as well as Bitcoin Maximus. Our moderators are always doing a fantastic job in the chat. Greatly appreciate y'all. Diesel SC, welcome, fam. Zap, checking in from Okinawa, Japan. Word up. Smashing that like button because you already know it's going to be a damn good show. Facts. Appreciate that. We watch you all the time, buddy, and also turning people onto your podcast. Let's go, says Jay Ivy. Where are you tuning in from, Jay? And I appreciate that support. Thank you for sharing it with others. The greatest compliment you can do to spread this message, simply smash the like and share the show. You can share it on social media as well. You know, of course, X or whatever social media platforms you guys are on. I greatly appreciate that very, very, very much. James Obleton says by 2025, word up, it's going to be a hell of a year. 2024 and 2025 collectively, in my humble opinion, especially for Bitcoiners. Love the content, says James. Thank you. Means a lot. Bitcoin is the new XTC, LOL. I don't even know what XTC stands for, so you have to define that word. Good afternoon, says DCA. Smash the like. Let's everyone smash the like. Tuning in from Clearwater, Florida, my old stomping grounds. Some of the most beautiful beaches in the world are in Clearwater. White sand, beautiful place to visit if you guys have never been there. Yeah, good stuff. What's up, Michael? SF Hodl, San Francisco in the building. Word up. Welcome, welcome. What are your guys' thoughts on that SEC guy taking over as the head of Binance US? That seems like a little strange, maybe a conflict of interest. Wasn't expecting that personally. All I want for Christmas is an all-time high. 100%. Send it and let's make it happen. Wouldn't be the first time we got an all-time high on Christmas. The first year I got into crypto was in 2017. And guess what? We had a very, very Merry Christmas. We had a $20,000 Merry Christmas. And it was a hell of a run. And can't wait for that to happen again. But way beyond 20,000. That was old news. We're talking, you know what I mean? Considering the current all-time high is 69,000, only a modest conservative 2x from the previous all-time high in 2021 is still a $138,000 price action. You know what I mean? So let's get it. Bitcoin on Lake Oconee says, I pity the fool who tries to ignore Bitcoin, according to Mr. T. Word up. Shout out to Mr. T. I'm a fan. I remember the A-team growing up with the Chipmunks. Alvin, Simon, and Theodore, y'all remember that? Prepare for the launch. Let's go. Shout out to McLovin. I just got on the ship, says Boz. Word, then you probably want to continue accumulating while the prices are down. Take advantage of it. Lift off. Send it. What's good, JB and fam? Mr. Still Stacking. Appreciate the love. Yes. Peanuts for Mark Cuban, but still, I mean, yeah. Nothing to Mark Cuban. 900,000 to Mark Cuban is probably like equivalent to $9 for the average individual. But it is alarming. I mean, again, I never trusted MetaMask to begin with. It always seemed sketchy. And, Vitalik to me is a little sketchy. Ethereum Foundation is a little sketchy. World Economic Forum is extremely sketchy. You know what I mean? So you guys know how I feel. It is what it is. Dollar Giro, what up? A dip would be a good buying opportunity, but I'm not relying on that to happen. Exactly. Anything can happen. So be prepared for all scenarios. Do your homework. If we can get through the next 3 weeks without much bleeding, we should start warming up, shouldn't we? Yes, October is around the corner. 2 weeks out. So let's go. Let's get it. Dollar Giro, what up? Definitely still bullish. Love to hear that. Checked out Link. I hit it and bought it at 0.06 and it keeps going. Well, for your sake, I hope it keeps on going. You know what I mean? I wouldn't check out Argentina. What do you mean? Do you mean I would check out Argentina? I mean, there's hyperinflation occurring. I heard just to purchase something, people pull out bricks of their fiat currency. I think it's the Argentine peso. I watched the Tucker interview he did with Javier Milei, and it sounds pretty scary. And this was all by design, corrupt central bankers. Milei says if he is elected president, he was going to, I think, do something with the US dollar. And Max Keiser is going to orange pill him. So I pray he does become president. I looked at the polls earlier before going live, and he had like 42% votes in Argentina. And I think the next runner up was like 20 or 30%. So he is currently leading. And I think that interview says it all. Almost 400 million viewers in a single day. That goes to show you that the Latin community is sick and tired of the BS and the hands and the cards they've been being dealt, and they're ready for a change. And it looks like he is the guy that can make these changes. So I do pray and hope that he does become president for the economy's sake. And also, I hope that Max does his job, which I'm sure he's going to do, and orange pills him, right? And they could follow the blueprint they laid out in El Salvador with Bukele. Because Argentina is a much bigger country than El Salvador, a much larger population. Then who knows? It can start a trickle effect or domino effect. What if Argentina adopts Bitcoin as the legal tender? What if Brazil adopts Bitcoin as the legal tender? Now we're talking about hundreds of millions of people getting access to the perfect form of money, which is the antidote to the CBDCs, the central bank digital currencies, and the fiat Ponzi schemes, and the matrix. If you're looking for the escape valve, you found it. You're looking right at it. It's called Bitcoin, fam. Yeah. Let me know if you guys can relate. Cuban can afford to take the hit, 100%. Mark Cuban can smoke a Cuban cigar worth $900,000 and not sweat. Just saying. He should have a team helping him out with that kind of money. Cuban has a rookie mistake. Yeah. Juan Romero, what up? Pure Vida, my fam. Good to see ya. Should have hodled Bitcoin only. Yes, you live, you learn. Right, Mark Cuban? You should have never compared Bitcoin to bananas. Let's keep it there. ETH can be printed out just like the dollar. It isn't promised to have any end, just like fiat Ponzi scheme. Exactly how I feel, Dankness. The fact you can go to CoinMarketCap right now, and you can see that Bitcoin has a finite limited cap, a limited supply, 21 million, and ETH, it's a mystery. Nobody knows. You can't get a straight answer. I've been doing this stuff for like 5 or 6 years now, 6 years, since 2017. I've never gotten a straight answer from anyone, including Vitalik. What's the Ethereum supply? Nobody knows. It's a mystery. They throw out weird formulas, and unless you're a mathematician, you don't even know what the hell they're saying. Not even Michael Saylor can figure it out, and he's a rocket scientist. So it just goes to show you there's some corruption there, and that's why I say be careful, fam. You can't be too careful here in crypto. You already know. Everyone's out to try to steal your funds at the end of the day. JV is the real Iron Man of YouTube, 24/7, 365. Appreciate that. Mark Cuban picks crypto like Taylor Swift picks men. Woo! I need a drum roll, please. And I have like the soundboard here. I don't got the drum roll in front of me. All good. Good name overall, though. Yeah. Happy Saturday, gents. That's what's up, Jack. Appreciate that, fam. Chasing yield is risky, even when you trust the firm. 100%. Considering the second largest crypto exchange in the world, which everyone trusted, including Stephen Curry, one of the greatest basketball players of our generation, including Tom Brady, considered one of the best football quarterbacks of our generation. The list goes on and on. If they can get rugged and he can walk away scamming investors worth of $30 billion of funds, you know what I mean? Anything can happen. Nothing is safe. Trust nobody. Verify everything, fam. I'm telling you. JV, September 6, 2023. Ripple, the leader, enterprise blockchain to crypto solutions, announced today it had acquired. That's right. That's what I thought. They acquired Fortress Trust just recently. So Ripple now officially owns Fortress Trust, fam. Thank you for that, Michael. Appreciate the clarification a lot. JV, I stack sats with Swan every Sunday. That's what's up. Do you have like an auto buy every week? I know you can set that up. That's pretty cool. Good to note. Only 1 million? Not sure what you're referring to. Are you referring to the price action ID 10 trillion? I mean, 1 million is kind of conservative. But hey, it is what it is. We'll start there. I don't think Swan is available in the UK. Good to know, Boz. What's up, Tag? Interest rates are killing people's savings. Preach. Explain how and why Bitcoin will reach $100,000. I'll give you 2 reasons why. Number 1, we have a Bitcoin halving in 6 months. Study the cyclical cycle of Bitcoin and you'll understand. And number 2, spot Bitcoin ETF. I've covered this numerous times. Michael Saylor tells you why. Max Keiser tells you why. But just those 2 catalysts alone can effortlessly send Bitcoin to $100,000. Let's focus on the ETF. There's a total addressable market of over $700 trillion. So as I covered in today's show, if only 1% goes into Bitcoin, we're talking about a multi-trillion-dollar market cap, which is going to send the Bitcoin price parabolic minimal 100,000. Easily could even go to 1 million. Nobody knows. Even the stock-to-flow model predicts post-halving that after the 2024 halving, the Bitcoin price is likely to appreciate between 100,000 and $1 million per coin. So it's inevitable. And even if we didn't have the ETF approval, we can easily get to 100,000, just the fact that there's a halving around the corner. I mean, when I got into crypto in 2017, Bitcoin was less than 2,000. It was roughly $1,500 per coin. And the halving was in 2016. The year after the halving, the year I got in, Bitcoin soared from $1,500 to $20,000. Guess what? Now we had a bear market following 2017 and 2018 and 2019. And then in 2020, the Bitcoin price crashed after the COVID crash to roughly $3,500 per coin. And then by the end of 2021, again, the year preceding the halving, are you starting to notice the patterns? Bitcoin soared to 69,000. And in fact, in 2021, there was a time within 60 days, Bitcoin soared from 16,000, right, below the previous all-time high, to a brand new all-time high of $69,000. So keeping it stupid, simple, and very conservative. Again, if we only 2x from the previous all-time high of 2021, and we do that in, let's hypothetically say 2025, sticking with the routine, the year preceding the halving, we hit the cycle peak, we're realistically looking at $138,000 Bitcoin price. Let me know if that answers your question, fam. And I can share other catalysts as well, but we're just keeping it stupid simple today. Fortunately, they ended their relationship with Fortress pretty quickly, so not many funds were held up. Billy Bitcoin said, just wait for the spot BTC. Argentina and Mexico jump in. Tesla accepts Bitcoin again. Halving is coming around. The dollar is printing. The next 10 years are very bullish for Bitcoin. All bullish catalysts. Thank you, Billy Bitcoin, and welcome to the show. Appreciate you. I stack with Swan, but move it to my Trezor as soon as possible. You're a smart man, Michael V. Glad to see you paying attention here in the show. Much love, much respect. Jack says, I am very excited about what's to come for Bitcoin. I feel like a little kid. Yeah, I'm really surprised to know a lot of people still in the dark in Bitcoin and not know what this is about. It's sad, but programming is very real, especially in the United States. Ashley says, instead of MetaMask, can you recommend something else, please? 100%. Get a cold storage device. There's a lot of options out there. One is Trezor. I'll leave it at that. There's probably a dozen other viable options that you can find. They're all great. Just get it directly from the manufacturer and never buy it from a third party, and do a little research. Go watch some videos on YouTube directly from Trezor. Not a third party, not a YouTuber, not even myself. Go watch the videos directly from the manufacturer on how to use the device, and probably within 5 minutes you can learn. Very simple stuff, fam. That's my sage advice for you today. Also, don't keep the crypto on the exchanges thinking it's safe. Don't purchase Bitcoin on PayPal, for example, and think it's safe. Don't do that. You know what I mean? To me, that's equivalent to keeping it on MetaMask, which you wouldn't want to do. I don't even know if you can keep Bitcoin on MetaMask because it's ERC20 and it's, Ethereum related, but just making a point. Anyways, Legends Valley says, bring it. Let's freaking go. Let's get it. I think Swan took reasonable precaution. All things considered, it seems like the worst is over. Word up, Mr. Still Stacking. Please help me, says ZMG. I have a debt of 20,000. How do you want me to help you with your debt? You know what I mean? Purchase some Bitcoin if you can. You know what I mean? And hodl. Hold on for dear life, as they say. Feels good to to the live show. Thank you, Tim. Appreciate it. I made it, says passive income with AI. Appreciate it. Is EOS dead? Seems that way. I remember it was a top cryptocurrency, multi-billion-dollar market cap. Everyone was talking about it. I haven't even heard a news article on it in several years, so kind of safe to say it's kind of dead. I don't have any insights there, though. I know nothing about it. I just know at one point, back in 2017 or 2018, everyone's like, EOS to the moon. Haven't heard that comment in a few years. Only Bitcoin freedom, says Barry. Shout out to Barry Lindert. Passive income, gold, silver, Bitcoin, and real estate. Word up. Basically, Bitcoin is virtual property, as Michael Saylor says. What it do, baby? Welcome, John Floyd. Appreciate you tuning in, fam. Tamaz says, greetings from Poland. Poland in the building. Word up. With AI silver, if my biggest part of my net worth, and I am not expecting anything amazing in years. Word up. Lewandowski is a football player. Word up. Poland, I love your sausages, says Black Swan the Don. In Poland, you have nice snaps, says Billy. Chris says, notice Multiverse X running today. What is Multiverse X? Is that the, I don't even know how to describe it. I know X is the platform, for social media. So I'm going to guess a metaverse version for X comparable to Facebook's or Meta's. Let me know, because I don't know. Sausages are good. Why are we talking about sausages again? I guess for Poland. September 2021, the total supply of Litecoin was capped at 84 million coins. Litecoin follows the deflationary model, and it is the maximum supply and 4 times the Bitcoin, which is 21 million coins. Good to note that, Jeff. Appreciate the insights. Shout out to Jeff. Thanks, mods. Love, much appreciation. Everyone show the mods some love. Port Charlotte, Florida in the building. I got family in Port Charlotte. So shout out to you guys. Crimson, Pennsylvania in the building. Shout out to PA. Shout out to Canada, Alberta. Melda the Witch. Welcome, welcome. Hi from North California. Trudy Loftus. Welcome. What's good? Baracus and A-Team. What's the stuff? Word. Talk about sketchy look at all the airdrop tokens. Yeah, I don't trust none of that stuff. Preach. Word up. Candace Owens back in Bitcoin now. Shout out to Candace Owens. I've always been a fan of hers. I love watching her. I love that she stands strong in her beliefs, and she says it how it is. And good to note, doesn't surprise me that she's back in Bitcoin. It would surprise me if she said she was back in Ethereum. I'll tell you that much. Tucker interview was not subtitled. I watched it with the subtitles, so there is definitely a subtitle version. I watched it directly on X from Tucker Carlson's actual, post. So it's up there. You can find it. Just look. Every American is pro-Bitcoin. They just don't realize it yet. Word up, McLovin. I bookmarked the Tucker interview. I need to get back into it. Good stuff. El Salvador was sketchy before Bukele. Bukele is making big moves, though, right? JV, do the hurricane seasons annoy you? Yes, no. It's very rare that I get struck by a major hurricane. It happened in Puerto Rico right before I moved here, and it was the worst hurricane of the century, so I can't complain. There's still people trying to recover on the island from it, believe it or not. JB, yeah, so I mean, it is what it is. And of course, same thing with Florida, nothing new, very similar. Imagine if the whole of Latin America adopts Bitcoin as a legal tender. Let's do it. All of Central America, South America, Spain, let's freaking go. It's time, don't you think? Yeah, dollar is 10% up for me. What do you mean the dollar is 10% up? Your dollars are appreciating in value? You know something I don't know? I would love to check out Argentina, where liquid staking is good. What exactly is the liquid element mean, liquid staking? What's the difference between regular staking and liquid staking? Let me know. Spot ETF Bitcoin, no guarantee of Bitcoin to 100,000. Well, first and foremost, there's no guarantees in life. There's no guarantee either of us or any of us watching for this sake can wake up tomorrow. You know what I mean? There's infinite possibilities of uncertainty that can always occur. So you can never say with 100% certainty that something is going to occur. So just wanted to point out the obvious. So yeah, you are right. There's no guarantee of Bitcoin going to 100,000, right? However, at the same token, I'm going to paraphrase Michael Saylor. Bitcoin is more likely to go to $5 million than it is to go to zero. How many of you agree or disagree? Let me know. Passive says, I see it. The only guarantee is that fiat is going to zero. So I'm betting on Bitcoin. That's a guarantee. All fiat monies go to zero. And the death of the dollar is incoming. I think we can all agree. First, I wanted to say I appreciate your transparency regarding getting scammed. Your humanity is recognized and respected. I'm praying for your quick turnaround. Second, could you explain what a cold wallet is? Thank you, Lanaveka. And I know you told me the pronunciation for your nickname there, and I'm probably messing it up, so you probably got to remind me. And if I say it a few more times, I promise I'll remember. Thank you. So a cold wallet or cold storage, it's basically a device or a wallet not on your computer. So for example, I'm going to give you an example with MetaMask versus a cold wallet. MetaMask is an online wallet you can probably use on your phone or on your computer using a browser like Firefox, for example. Now, cold storage is more secure because it's not connected to your computer. So there's no way anyone's going to be able to hack it. You know what I mean? Where if someone hacks your computer, there's a possibility if they really know what they're doing, just like they did to Mark Cuban, they can extract all of your crypto. So a cold storage wallet device example I gave earlier is the Trezor. Probably like $60. You can pick one up. It's a little device. And only when you use it and you're transacting do you ever need to plug it into your computer via USB. Very simple, right? So you make your transaction, for example, I'll give you a hypothetical. You go to Swan Bitcoin, you purchase some Bitcoin. You then transfer the Bitcoin from the exchange or platform onto your Trezor wallet. Then you unplug the Trezor wallet from your computer and you put it somewhere safe and secure where no one else has access to it. And that's it. That's a cold storage wallet device. Cold storage is always going to be more secure than an online wallet on your computer. There's a lot of online computer wallet options. MetaMask is just one of many. And of course, there are many cold storage wallet solutions as well. In fact, chat, let me know which cold storage wallet you recommend personally, and I'll share these insights to everyone here, especially the newbies that may be looking to get their first cold storage wallet. $4 billion ICO, says Chris. Word. What were we talking about again? What was 4 billion? Yes, I love the synchronicities in life. Thanks, Most High. All praise to the Most High. 100%. If debt equals loss of Bitcoin value, then don't sell HODL. Word. HODL be thy name, right? Yeah, I agree with Sailor this time, says Volkman. Fiat is already zero. Yeah, preach. Go to zero, thus BTC. I do use the Ledger. That's another option as well. Ledger Nano has a wallet. I trust Trezor more, but nonetheless, again, there's a lot of options out there. I encourage everyone to do their own research. Anyways, fam, now for a recap of what I covered with you here in today's show, but another quick reminder, if you got value out of the Q&A or the main content section or anything I shared with you today, smash the like button. It helps out, again, tremendously with the YouTube algorithm, and it'll help get more eyeballs on this channel, which will help usher in Bitcoin adoption around the world. But here's a recap of what I covered with you here in today's show. I broke down the latest technical analysis. I shared breaking news. The former SEC and Federal Reserve Bank of New York, Norman Reed, announced as the new CEO of Binance US. We also discussed the latest from Max Keiser, including him going to be meeting up with Javier Milei in Buenos Aires, Argentina, to orange pill him so that they could adopt Bitcoin potentially as a legal tender, especially if he does become president, as he's already pro-Bitcoin and anti-central banking nonsense. You know what I mean? We also discussed the latest with Mark Cuban, the billionaire, was hacked for almost $900,000 in his MetaMask wallet. We also discussed Gemini's legal team accusing the digital currency group of gaslighting Genesis creditors, as well as breaking news of BitGo and Swan unveiling a plan for Bitcoin-only trust company lining up for that spot Bitcoin ETF. We also discussed a very bullish prediction of the Bitcoin price preceding the 2024 halving, hitting a new all-time high, and post-halving soaring as high as $250,000 per coin. I also shared with you the latest prediction from Max Keiser, who says just 1% of the total addressable market moving into Bitcoin will send the Bitcoin price to those multiple seven-figure price predictions, especially when we get to 5 to 10% of that total addressable market. But where do you feel the Bitcoin price is likely to go next? Let me know in the comments right down below. Don't forget to smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and subscribe to the